Lots of candidates, they are running for city council, and their agenda, their ideology is to represent our issues in city hall so that they can make a difference there in city hall. What are the issues for our community? What we need from city? What is the future of city? What is the future of small businessman? What is the future of kids? What is the future in your district when it comes to law and order? What is the future of public safety? What is the future of COVID-19? What is the future of people, those who are suffering with COVID-19? What is the future of health, insurance? What is your future? आ गल असी अज इस सांझे मसले इस प्रोग्राम के तहत रखांगे. Let me introduce you with Felicia Singh. She's running for New York City Council District 32, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਏਰੀਆ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹਨ ਓਜ਼ੋਨ ਪਾਰਕ, ਵੁੱਡ ਹੈਵਨ, ਸਾਊਥ ਓਜ਼ੋਨ ਪਾਰਕ, 107 ਸਟਰੀਟ, ਰਿਚਮੰਡ ਹਿੱਲ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਏਰੀਆ ਪੈ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਹਾਵਰਡ ਬੀਚ ਐਂਡ ਰੌਕਵੇ. ਐਂਡ ਫਲੀਸ਼ੀਆ ਸਿੰਘ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਰਿਪਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਰਦੇ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡਿਸਾਈਡ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ. ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰੈਸਿਵ ਡੈਮੋਕ੍ਰੈਟ ਤੋਂ ਇਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਉਹ ਮੈਦਾਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨੇ, ਔਰ ਅੱਜ ਜਸ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਉਹ ਅਪੀਲ ਕਰਨ ਆਏ ਹਨ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਨਿਊਯਾਰਕ ਸਿਟੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਚੋਣਾਂ ਦੇ ਮੈਦਾਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਤਰ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਹਾਂ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੋਟ ਕਰੋ ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕਰੋ. Felicia, we welcome you in our studio.
Thank you, and sat sri akal, everyone.
Felicia, let me start your introduction with our community, with our viewers. Let me, tell them first that, not only running for New York City Council, you will represent our issues in City Council, definitely in City Hall. Please tell me about your family. Please tell me about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Felicia Singh. I am a daughter of a taxi driver. I am a teacher, and I'm looking to represent my community in City Council for District 32. And I am so honored to have this opportunity to run for office because I think it's so important. Now is the time to have representation in our community and for our people and for immigrants. We need to make sure that we are bringing to City Council a voice that understands our systems and understands that our systems for our immigrant community, our Punjabi community, our Sikh community, our South Asian community, that does not work. And we need people who are willing to have the courage and the will to change them. I am that person.
When we say Felicia Singh, from where does Singh come from?
Yes, my father is Punjabi and my mom is from Guyana. Okay. And so I'm very lucky to live in a home where I learned about two different religions, two different cultures, because that's so important for our city, to learn about the multifaceted communities in which we live.
Of course, and we can see diversity in Richmond Hill, in your district. When we talk about diversity, what kind of issues now this diversity, this diversified people are suffering right now?
We're suffering from a lot of different things. We are working class people. We're taxi drivers, we're restaurant workers, we are teachers, we're people who are in the front line. And what's really sad is that our city doesn't recognize how much our immigrant community is working so hard to lift our city up. But the return that we get from our city is not the same. We are not included in stimulus bills because some of us are undocumented. We are being left behind in being included in the vaccination process. Taxi drivers were just included recently. And then we have the taxi medallion crisis as well that's impacting so many people across New York City, including my family. And so we are facing many, many issues, and it's about time people represent us that understand this perspective.
Felicia, when we talk about the taxi drivers and when we talk about their future, so जिन्ने भी दर्शक इस टाइम इस प्रोग्राम ਨੂੰ ਵਾਚ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਟੈਕਸੀ ਡਰਾਈਵਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਡਾਲੀਅਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਡਰਾਈਵ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਤੇ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਸਿਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਨਿਊਯਾਰਕ ਸਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਏ ਹਨ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਖੁਦ ਉਸ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਤੋਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹਨ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਫਾਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਐਜ਼ ਐਨ ਮੈਡਾਲੀਅਨ ਟੈਕਸੀ ਡਰਾਈਵਰ ਦੇ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਪੂਰੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਤੀ, ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹ ਧੀ ਹੈ, ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਧੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੀ, ਡਾਟਰ ਆਫ Punjabi, I will say, coming from this Sikh community, from the Sikh family, from the Punjabi family.
Right.
Dilip Singh ji, your father, as a taxi driver, when he comes home, what he discuss about his business, right? How he is going right now, how is he struggling right now,
Yeah.
and how you will make a difference once you will be in City Hall.
You know, our story is the story of many people. You come home, you drive your taxi all day. Right now, some taxi drivers, like my father, is making maybe $20 a day, $20, $40. You come home to more bills that you cannot pay. You cannot afford to pay your home, your rent, your medallion, the taxi fees. And right now I'm hoping that our mayor, he made a recent decision for debt relief that is not possible, that is not anywhere near what we are fighting for. We're fighting for the restructure of our medallion debt to $125,000 to ensure that we can pay $757 per month over 20 years. This is a good plan by New York Taxi Workers Alliance. They are a wonderful union. They have been fighting every single day for many years. And when the mayor presented this plan yesterday, it was a shame. It was a shameful plan. This will not help taxi drivers, and this will cost our city more money over a longer period of time. So really, what we need are people who are going to fight to support taxi drivers, because this is their plan. This is what they want. And we need people in city council who are going to be very brave. We need a mayor, a new mayor, who's going to be very brave to take on a plan that works for everyone. Right now, the plan does not work for us, and we are working class people and we need help.
Having said by you, Felicia, that we are working class people and we also come from, the business family. And when we talk about your District 32, there are lots of small businesses after this situation, this
Yes.
COVID-19 situation, they are suffering. How you will make a difference once you get elected?
So Queens only got 17% of the PPE loan. 17%, that's it. So when I'm looking at, when I see that, well, we have such low percent of people who qualify, who applied for the loans, I think about the language issue. Some people don't know how to navigate the system to apply for these loans for relief and recovery. That's number one. We need to make sure everything is translated in language and it is available for our community to understand. Then we need to make sure that there's someone who is helping us complete the paperwork. You know, you are an immigrant, maybe you don't know how to use the computer. Or maybe you're not sure if there's a phone number to call to apply for recovery. We need to cut all the small business fees that businesses have to pay for no reason. That is taking money from you and your livelihood. So that is where I want to fight.
बिल्कुल है पंजाबी थी जड़ी है बड़ी aggressive मैं कहूँगा नजर आ रही है. I'm telling them that you're very aggressive and you're ready to fight these elections and you are ready to convince your voters in your district that definitely you will fight for their issues and you will make a difference once you will get elected for City Hall. Felicia, tell me more about. Let me ask you this. Because this is you will understand this question because you come from that background. You served as a teacher there.
Yes.
So for kids' safety, now they're not going to school. For their future, what do you think? What city should give them a package or what they should do for them so that they can start going to school and they can have that kind of comprehensive education?
Well, first I want to explain that City Council's jurisdiction over the Department of Education is not as strong as it could be. You know, the mayor has more power over our schools than the City Council. So that's number one. So when you think about voting and when you think about who you're going to vote for mayor, make sure you're asking them very important questions about schools because they are the one who have the power to write legislation. City Council, however, we are like oversight. We can go to the Department of Education and say, I need data to see how many of our children went to school during the pandemic. How many of our students are failing because of they did not have a stronger education or they did not have stronger opportunities than they could have? How many of our children with disabilities did not get their services? That's another thing that's really important. You know, I was a teacher who taught as a special education teacher. I taught children with disabilities. So I understand how difficult this is for many families across New York City. They have to teach their children by themselves. And that's very hard. Many families families didn't get the services that they are mandated by law to have if you have a child with disabilities. So we need to make sure we're demanding Department of Education give us the data so we know where the gaps are. And then we write legislation in that way. I want to make sure our public schools are fully funded. We have the money we need and the resources to make sure every single child, no matter where you're from, what language you speak, how you learn, has a right to education, a full funded education.
Right, and let me ask you this last question. So what you are looking from our viewers and from
Yes.
our community?
So I'm looking for your support. I'm looking for your incredible support in this way of being volunteers for our campaign. You can even donate to our campaign at Felicia2021.com. But really, right now is such an important time. We are petitioning to get on the ballot. So we cannot exist for you as an option to vote for if we're not there. So we need many, many volunteers helping us who are registered Democrats. If you are not registered to vote, register to vote today. Sign up to volunteer at Felicia2021.com. Send me a message on Instagram at Felicia Singh 2021 so that way I can say hello and show you how you can join our campaign.
ਸੋ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀ ਧੀ ਅੱਜ ਰਿਕੁਐਸਟ ਕਰਨ ਆਈ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਜੀ ਜਸ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਏਰੀਆ ਮੈਂ ਮੁੜ ਤੋਂ ਦੱਸ ਦਵਾਂ ਓਜ਼ੋਨ ਪਾਰਕ ਵੁੱਡ ਹੈਵਨ ਸਾਊਥ ਓਜ਼ੋਨ ਪਾਰਕ 107 ਸਟਰੀਟ ਰਿਚਮੰਡ ਹਿਲ ਤੱਕ ਹਵਾਟ ਬੀਚ ਤੇ ਰੌਕਵੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਏਰੀਆ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਏਰੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ felicia2021.com ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਲੌਗਇਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਐਂਡ ਯੂ ਕੈਨ ਆਲਸੋ ਫੋਲੋ ਹਰ ਔਨ ਇੰਸਟਾਗ੍ਰਾਮ ਫੇਸਬੁੱਕ ਐਂਡ ਟਵਿੱਟਰ ਸੋ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਫੈਲੀਸ਼ੀਆ ਮੰਗਦੇ ਹਨ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਔਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਨ ਕਿ ਜੇਕਰ ਮੈਂ ਜਿੱਤ ਕੇ ਆਉਣੀ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਲਈ ਵਧੀਆ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀ ਧੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਵਾਕਈ ਦਮ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਸ ਕੁੜੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਾਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਿਟੀ ਹਾਲ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਉਣ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕਰੋ